I said, does everything happen for a reason? 77% said yes, destiny. 23% said no, coincidence. What do you think, Zach?
I don't think everything happens for a reason. Do you?
Yeah. No, I don't think anything happens for a reason. I think everything's coincidence.
I don't know if it's coincidence, but I feel like everything that happens is what you manifest. Like whatever I feel like a lot of it is just how you're what's the word I'm looking for? It's how I don't know.
Coincidence.
Not coincidence, but it's however you're trying to make. I can't think of the word that I want, but I feel like you can make whatever you want possible. And I don't think that's coincidence.
Yeah, okay, well that's just like making whatever you want happen. I'm talking about like weird shit that happens in your life.
Just like random stuff, like cancer?
Shit.
Like getting cancer?
Yeah, is that destiny or is that coincidence?
Did you get
like cancer by coincidence or by destiny?
I think that's coincidence.
Stop. Give me my skin back.
Stop peeling his skin, Jamie.
Stop peeling his skin, Jamie.
Jamie.
But I feel like that's coincidence, I guess.
Cancer.
Yeah, well,
or
it's
like getting your dream job or finding your spouse.
Okay,
like,
but cancer is mostly genetics. I think most things boil down to more than a coincidence. It's more scientific.
But is genetics coincidence or is it destiny?
It's not either. I feel like it's just your genetics. It's scientific.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
so
I want to take
like, you have your genetics because of fucking God. God
no,
gave you your genetics, so it's destiny.
No, you got your genetics from your parents.
That's coincidence.
That is, I don't feel like, I guess that could be a coincidence.
That's coincidence because what if your mom married somebody else and then you got different genetics?
But
is
she
that
chose.
God?
But
is that God or is that coincidence?
But she chose who she was gonna marry.
Choosing
and I don't think
is
that
not destiny. That's coincidence.
Okay, I guess it would be coincidence then.
Go. It's coincidence.
But that doesn't seem like.
This is crazy.
I don't feel like that's spot on with coincidence, like the definition term.
Stop.
Well, coincidence means it's happening by.
Look it up, Jamie.
It's not happening by force. It's not happening by some predetermined outcome. It's happening because of decisions made in those moments. That's coincidence. Coincidence, or it's random. It's completely.
I feel like coincidence more is like a random term.
But it's both. But destiny is when you say it's already been laid out for you. When somebody's already made that decision.
I get destiny, but I feel like it's somewhere.
So if my mom married somebody, my mom and my dad had me. Was that coincidence or was that destiny? I think that was fucking coincidence. There's no way that it was preordained by anybody.
I don't think it was preordained.
That's destiny. Preordained is destiny.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it was destiny.
They had you. Your parents had you through coincidence. If my mom would have married somebody else, or not even married, but had me or had another kid with somebody else, it would have been coincidence. That's my belief. I don't think.
I love how deep you think.
Okay, I believe in more. I think it's more coincidence than if we're just putting it in destiny and coincidence.
Yeah.
And coincidence is definitely what I believe.
I don't think there's any destiny in anything.
I don't feel like I don't think there's
talk,
destiny either. I
what
don't
about
feel like
luck?
anything
Do you
is
believe in
preordained.
Luck is coincidence.
Luck is coincidence.
So you don't believe in luck?
I don't think
I think there's coincidence. I don't think there's. I don't
think a person can be just
coincident. Heidi, will you look up the definition of coincidence?
Yes, please.
I think it's just the way things occur. It's not because somebody's influenced a decision or an outcome. It's just the way things have happened.
No, I think it's just people's decisions.
Coincidence is a remarkable concurrence of events or circumstances without apparent casual connection. So things happen without any kind of interference. Things just happen because they fucking happen.
Okay, but I don't technically believe that. I feel like things happen because of people's decisions. And I don't feel like people's decision is a coincidence. But it's not preordained either.
Are they influenced, though, by destiny?
No, I don't think it's destiny.
Then it's coincidence.
I feel like it's somewhere in the middle. I feel like it's
no. I think there is. I think Caden, I think you think black and white.
I do.
Why is there not a? Why can't there be coincidence?
How is there coincidence and destiny?
No. Okay, no. I'm not thinking destiny at all. I'm thinking things are determined by people's actions, and that feels like more than a coincidence. You know what I mean? I feel like whatever happens is because of other people's decisions. Whatever you want your life to be is made up of your decisions. And that's not coincidence, and that's not destiny.
It has to be.
No, it doesn't have to be either
can't
or.
write something out and then say, this just happened. It either fucking happened because of coincidence or somebody made you or influenced you to write that. Higher power.
No, because you chose to write that. Your actions made you write that.
But what made you write that?
Your own beliefs, your own thoughts, what you wanted, your
Did
dreams.
those thoughts come from somebody else or did they come from
they come from yourself.
Coincidence.
They
just happened.
It seems like something else. It doesn't...
You think there's something greater than you that's influencing your decisions, your thoughts,
I feel like it's
beliefs.
just you that's what's creating what you believe, what you want is what's making it come to real life. I don't feel like it's a greater being. I don't feel like coincidence just seems like chance. I don't believe it's chance.
It's not. Coincidence isn't chance. It's the way things happen. It's how things happen. Coincidence is things that's happening without other people's influence. It's things that happen.
But people's influence is everywhere.
What about God's influence, though?
God influence can influence people that believe in God.
That's destiny.
That believe in God, yes. But I don't...
The root of this argument is there God influencing our decisions through an ordained destiny, or are things just happening because they fucking happen? And I think there's nothing that is influencing our decisions. Because I'm not drunk and ranting and yelling at you guys because
hold on.
God wants me to. I'm doing it because that's how I feel and that's just what's happening. I'm influencing.
That's how I feel.
Exactly. That's coincidence.
No.
That
I want you to argue.
Destiny is God saying you have to.
I don't. Okay. I made it very clear that I don't think destiny is a thing.
But destiny is
seems,
God or a higher power saying,
I
this
get
is how
the
this
definitions.
conversation is going to route.
I get the definitions.
But there can't be both. And
I'm not saying there is both.
I feel like
there can't even be a middle ground.
I'm
Things
just saying
either happen because they fucking happened, or somebody said this is how it's going to happen.
Okay, this is the only thing I'm saying. It sounded like coincidence. Sounded more of like randomness. And I feel like it's more than randomness, but it's not like manifest destiny. It's like whatever you want it to be.
That's
like
a
you
good
can
word.
Like
manifest destiny.
But you can choose what you want it to be. But that feels like more than a coincidence.
You can't choose.
You can choose your own destiny.
You can do what you want to do.
Exactly. You can do whatever you want to do.
Is that destiny or is that
That's
coincidence?
not destiny, but it doesn't feel like a coincidence. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying there should be something else. I feel like it's whatever you want it to be.
Coincidence and destiny is just it's.
Do you see what I'm saying?
It's a weird argument because like it's
I'm
hard.
just arguing a third point.
Because there's some things that it's like okay that was a crazy coincidence, but like there's some things that's like like maybe that was meant to happen.
That's what I'm saying.
Does anyone understand what I'm saying?
Because
yes, you can.
No, you can't because if you thought,
dude, I'll fight you.
No, we're just talking.
No. I'll throw fists.
If someone said, if you were like, look, I met my wife. This was a beautiful thing that was supposed to happen. It was destiny. But then fucking you find $100 bill on the ground and say, whoa, what a wonderful coincidence. If you believe in coincidence, you also believe that meeting your wife was a coincidence. It just happened. If you believe that meeting your wife or finding that $100 bill was destiny, then you believe that those things were already determined before they happened.
Okay, I will say this one more time.
Okay, so like think
you can't have both.
Hear me out.
You can think because we're insubordinate humans
either.
that both can happen.
I'm saying
you can't logically that because they don't coincide.
No, okay.
They don't both exist.
I'm not saying they exist.
So
I'm not putting words in your mouth. I'm just
can I
saying
talk? I
exist.
haven't really said anything
elaborated.
Really?
You gotta sit back. Yeah, it's too loud when you talk.
Hello?
You're talking right in the mic like we said you can't do in the beginning.
Oh, okay, right.
You just gotta talk with a full voice.
Like, I'm honestly playing devil's advocate because I like hearing different perspectives and stuff. But like, think about, say, like Elon Musk and stuff. Like, that dude was set up. Or okay, no. Let's switch that. I mean, Elon Musk is a good. What am I thinking? Anyways,
he's an anomaly.
Well, okay, but like, okay,
being.
think like
That's
Michael Jackson. That dude was destined for greatness.
No, he was an anomaly to what the standard of humans are. I'm not talented like Michael Jackson. I'm not smart like Elon Musk.
Let me say this then.
I'm more of an average human. I'm more of what the
Do you think Michael Jordan got to where he was because of the insane amount of practice?
Because of
like the training.
So there's a difference.
Okay, the constant training and the just working at it and putting in the hours, or is it just random skill?
Because there's people who put in
or not random, but just natural skill.
I think there are definitely genetics and a whole lot of incentive in his brain and in his ethic that came out and obviously produced one of the greatest probably the greatest basketball player of all time. But
I feel like this is leading to this.
That a higher power gave him those abilities to make him the greatest basketball player of all time, or is it coincidence that he had those abilities?
All right, let me switch.
That's the argument.
Let me switch it to this.
Hold on, we're talking about sports podcast now, and we're about to bury our homies right now.
Yeah,
wait, hold on.
Syllabus,
yeah,
let me switch it to this.
Yeah.
We're gonna bury you guys.
Do you believe in nature or nurture then?
Both.
So how can?
Do you think it's a 50-50?
I don't know. I think about that all the time. I don't know.
Do you think it's what you're born with or how you were raised?
I think it's both.
I think you were born with what you have, and then the way you are raised influences how those traits inside of you are portrayed or how they develop. I don't know that one is entirely dominant of the other. I really don't think that nature.
I 100% believe that nurture is how your personality comes out. Like I think
say that again. You said nature.
Nurture.
Like
I believe what you're born with, your genetics. I feel like you can be born with great genetics.
So like, do you?
But how you were raised, what you learned through your upbringing, I think that plays a bigger role in who you are as a person.
Like culturally, like with anything, like I kind of.
Like that's a big argument. Like nature or nurture, like what influences you as a person the most?
I think it's both, but like nurture is huge. I mean. The way you're raised greatly
but I think they both play a part.
It greatly affects the way you like your belief system, whether it's you believe the same thing or you don't. But like, I mean, like the LDS religion with you, like you were raised in that religion and now you're kind of against it. But like that is nurture right there. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, that's true. That's nurture. That's the things that I was taught.
So
like, what do you think?
The way like you're raised in cultural, like the culture you're raised in has a huge impact.
To counter that, I would say I was naturally not for religion or for spirituality.
But you never
naturally I was against it. But I was nurtured I was raised in the church. I was raised to believe in a higher power.
So you think, but how can you naturally be just born your genetics? How can you just be naturally
that's DNA
born to be against religion?
This kind of reminds me about
I think the way you think and everything comes from influences from your parents through friends through everything you absorb around you. I think your personality, the way you think, I think everything that builds you really is just things that you absorb.
Life experiences.
Through your upbringing.
I think I agree with you. I think you're right. But I would also argue that the way that your personality is who you are. My personality is stronger where I'm able to set my own boundaries and limits to what I accept in religion, what I accept in education, what I accept in my work ethic. But some people don't have a strong enough personality to define themselves. They let their nurture define them. So some people.
Do you think that's all it is?
I don't think it's all of it. I think some people think my parents raised me in the church or they raised me in this practice.
Yeah.
And I am too afraid to defy them, to disobey them, to pursue what I actually believe or how I actually feel. So I'm going to continue in this because that's their nature.
Yes.
Their nature is to conform. My nature is to be strong and kind of controversial.
Okay, but this is where it comes down to. Do you think that's something that you kind of learned throughout your life on your mission?
No.
Just throughout experiences? Or was that something that you think you were just born with?
I was born to be prideful, a little bit more prideful, a little bit more.
A dominant personality is what you're born with.
Dominant, yeah. I have a really strong personality.
Yeah,
I know what makes me feel good. I know what I don't like.
But I think
and I'm not afraid to say.
Hold on, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So like for you, because like I don't know, I think one of my skills is like being observant of other people, and I think you definitely were born with a dominant personality. I mean, you had that personality of like people gravitating towards that. But like you said something about being kind of controversial and stuff. I think that's nurture, and you kind of learn that. You liked seeing people of like like I see him being controversial and seeing that stuff, and I kind of like I'm gravitating towards that.
That's fair. That's fair. I won't. And yeah.
Okay,
I
let
don't
me
know
just
how
say
I
this.
portray
What do
myself
you
entirely.
think? So, what do you think's more dominant then in your upbringing? Was it nature or nurture?
They go hand in
Dude,
hand for me.
They really do. Like I feel.
But what
I
do you?
feel-
Okay, I get that.
For myself, I think
Honestly, I feel like they both play a part, but I just want to know which one is more dominant.
when I was a vulnerable young adult, or even just a young person, nurture was so much more influential.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't who I am now. I wasn't as confident or persuasive as a person back then to say, this is how I feel. This is what I think. This is what I want to do. I was afraid of my family's reaction. I was afraid of my friends' reactions and how I would be perceived by other people. I was afraid as a young
Adjust so
person, but
hard.
now I'm older and I do have naturally a more confident and prideful personality.
And you think you were
I'm not
just born
afraid
with
to that's natural for me. That's nature for me, at least. I think some people can learn to be confident, to learn to be like
I think you learn whatever
steadfast
you
in
wanted
their-
to be. Yeah.
But some people are not. Honestly, I really don't think everybody's able to say, "This is who I am. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do." Some people are completely conformative and will say,
But I
"This
think
is how I feel," but I'm not going to do it because I'm afraid of these influences. I'm afraid of this reaction.
yeah.
So I'm going to stay in this kind of this attitude, these actions, just to make this group of people happy.
But that's
to
how
make
that's
family
what
happy.
that's what I think. That's how I think they were raised.
This may
That's
not.
what I'm thinking.
Okay.
No, I think
They
that's
weren't.
nature.
No, I think. Okay,
This-
yeah,
this
we
may
disagree,
not-
but I think that's nurture to me.
This
I think
may not-
that's
People
more.
don't get taught to be conservative.
No,
to
it's
be,
not
to-
exactly what you're taught. It's mostly how you feel when you're raised. How you just absorb things. How you're. I don't know. It's how you're raised. It's how you take things in. How like subconsciously you kind of absorb things. It's kind of how it builds your personality.
I
So you kind of like see things that are like disagree with how you're raised or how you're thinking, and some people take that more to heart, and they're more secluded in their things that they want to come out about.
there are we know people that have grown up in the church that are in the position where they feel something against the church or their religion and decide to stay in because of social pressures and because of how people will view them or because of their relationships. They're afraid of their relationships.
But that's nurture.
That's nature. That's not always that's not always nature. Some people are taught that to keep their relationships
So you just think
malleable.
more people are more confident about coming out.
Some people are.
So
Some people are.
you
I'm
think-
confident enough to say, this is who I am, this is what I want, this is what I'm willing to do, this is what I'm not willing to do. Some people aren't willing to say that. They'll say, in their heads, they'll say, this is how I feel, but I'm not willing to do that because of these relationships, and this is... And,
but maybe
and these
people are
things
just
going on.
born and raised more...
Conservative.
Yeah, maybe... I don't know.
You could be taught
It's honestly,
conservatism.
this argument can go on forever.
For
Nature
sure.
and nurture has gone on for years. But
I don't
Well, it'll go on forever.
I don't think
Yeah.
one is more dominant than the other. I think they always will coincide.
They go
what you're
hand in
taught.
hand.
they
But
definitely go in hand. But I mean, I definitely think nurture plays a bigger part.
nurture.
Nurture.
Oh yeah, I would say nature goes.
You really do.
The person that you are.
I would say nurture.
At least for me, the person that I am is more dominant than
Let
any
me ask this
influence
then.
that I've
What do
had.
you think?
But you
what do
can't.
you think
can't
brings
affect that
that
person.
brings that?
It's my personality.
Do you think it's
I don't give a
genetics?
fuck about what people say. I know
Yeah,
how
yeah.
I feel about what's happening. I'm not afraid to say I agree with that or I disagree with that.
But
That's
do you-
my
Is
personality.
that okay? So you think it's nature, right?
To me, it's nature.
Okay, but
But
like,
what brings on that? Is that just genetics?
That could be genetics. It could be genetics. It could even be nature telling you to listen to your natural to your nature.
Yeah,
I
guess.
I'm fortunate enough to have family that will say, listen to how you feel. Go with your gut.
Exactly.
It's-
That's nurture.
That's nurture. That's nurture. But that's taught me to listen to my nature. I think people will be happier if they listen to their nature more than their nurture. Because when you're true to your nature, when you're true to yourself, you get to fulfill the things that genetically make you happier.